started? We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. This is to advise the general public that in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 307 Frog Pond Road, Little Lake Harbor, New Jersey, in fact on January 9th, 2019, to the Asbury Park Press, Atlantic City Press, Manahawkin newspapers, and the Sandpaper, and to the office of the Municipal Clerk of Little Lake Harbor, a meeting notice setting forth the date, time, and location of this meeting. Do we need to do a roll call?
Yep. Mr. Malone?
Yes, here.
Mr. Dallio?
Here.
Ms. Januzzi?
Here.
Dr. Gross will be marked absent. Ms. Palin?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Here.
Mr. Moncrief?
Here.
We are live at 5:31.
Okay, first item on the agenda is recommend motion to approve September 16, 2019 agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? No questions?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Recommend motion to approve the following minutes, July 23rd, 2019, August 12th, 2019 meetings. Is there a motion?
Motion. Motion.
Is there a second? Any questions? No questions?
Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Mr. Dallio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have a couple presentations. I'm not sure who was actually here tonight for the presentations.
I don't see anyone here at this point. Yeah.
Okay, we can come back to it if.
So yeah, I mean, we just have the four, we're recognizing some of the groups that donated a lot of items to our school district. So if any of them show up, we can recognize them.
Okay. All right. Move on to the report of the superintendent.
All right, thank you. We have some back to school nights coming up. Mitchell's is Tuesday the 17th at 6:30. Frog Ponds is Thursday, September 19th at 6:30. ECC is the October 2nd at 6:30. Sit with the Soup, our first one for the year, is Monday, September the 23rd at 1 o'clock. Please note, we need you to RSVP now if you're going to come to the evening one at 5 o'clock. And they can RSVP right to Mrs. Rosenberg or me directly. Thursday, October the 10th at 6:30, there is a special presentation at Pinelands entitled What Your Step? And it's talking about social media, and we are going to have a special presentation by the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office. And lastly, a special performance by Pineland's own Gaten Matarazzo and his Work in Progress band. Very exciting, so hopefully everybody can come out for that. We do have members of the PTO here, and they will update you on some great things they're doing. And that's all I have for right now.
Okay, move on to residents forum, this time for agenda items only. The Little Lake Harbor Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes as cited in policy number 167. Public comment on any agenda item at this time. General public comment can occur later on in the meeting. Are there any comments on agenda items at this time? I see no one looking to comment. We'll move on to the board work session.
All right. Nick, I believe you're starting off with facilities.
Yeah, the energy services, or the ESIP project, our energy savings improvement plan, is moving along nicely. We have finance committee meetings before each of the next 2 board meetings to keep it going along. We have a RFP on the street right now looking for power purchase agreements for a solar system. And if we stay on the project schedule we have, we should be completed with ESIP work by the end of this school year.
Do you have health benefits update?
Yep, we're also in the process of looking at our health benefit options for the upcoming school year. So we're looking at, do we stay in the current plan that we're in? Do we switch to an alternative plan? The alternative plans would be the state health benefit plan or the school health insurance fund. Obviously, all of those things will always be equal to or better. Right now, we're in fact-finding fact-finding stages with our benefits consultant. He presented some preliminary information to the finance committee today, and it looks like based on where the rates are right now, that we're going to make a motion to approve going back into the state health benefit plan, and we can answer any questions you have about that. And the budget plan of action is on the agenda. I cannot believe it is time to start another budget process already, but here we are. The plan of action is the dates are tentative right now. The Department of Education will release a budget calendar a little bit later in the school year, and that we'll update that, but it's time to have our eyes on that 2021 budget. So that process has begun.
All right, thank you, Nick. Next up is questions from the district's website. There was only one on there about when we were going to post the minutes for July and August. There is one for our regular meeting already posted for July, and the special meeting and the August minutes are being approved tonight, and then they will be posted on the website. Anything from the president?
No, nothing to update.
Okay.
Move on to finance items. Recommend motion to approve finance items A through DD. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? No questions?
All right, roll call. Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mr. Dowio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Move on to facilities items, number 13. Recommend motion to approve facilities item A. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? No questions?
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mr. Dowio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Carries.
There are no technology items at this time, so moving on to new business, we have a resolution on the agenda. Be it hereby resolved by the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education at the regular Board of Education meeting held on September 16, 2019, the following. Whereas the Department of Education requires New Jersey school districts to designate the beginning with the first Monday in October, October 7th to the 11th, 2019, as the Week of Respect in New Jersey, and beginning with the third Monday in October, October 21st to the 25th of 2019, as School Violence Awareness Week. And whereas the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education acknowledges the importance of character education for the students of Little Lake Harbor and the educational value of teaching our students to become caring and compassionate individuals by age-appropriate instruction focusing on preventing harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and teaching students that violence is not the solution to a problem. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Little Lake Harbor Board of Education, do hereby recognize the Week of Respect held October 7th through the 11th, and School Violence Awareness Week held October 21st through October 25th in the Little Lake Harbor Township School District. Is there a motion? Is there any questions? No questions?
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mr. Dowio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Motion carries.
16, the following items are presented for informational purposes only: community school financials and correspondence from Mr. Cole, the facilities manager. Item 17, recommend motion to approve personnel items 1 through 12. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? No questions?
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mr. Dowio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Ms. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Motion carries.
18, HIB. There are no HIB items for the board to consider tonight. Number 19, policies and procedures. Recommend motion to approve policies and procedures items A through E. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? No questions?
Mr. Balone?
Yes.
Mr. Dowio?
Yes.
Ms. Januzzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Palin?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Moncrief?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to public comment. The floor is now open to members of the public. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express, with each statement made by a participant limited to 3 minutes, as cited in policy number 167. There's a sign-in sheet located at the podium. Please sign in before you speak.
Hi, Jody Platty, PTO president. I just wanted to be here tonight to let you know how we're starting off our year this year with the PTO. The executive board would like to keep you up to date on our actions and objectives. We are excited to begin another school year. The PTO has already distributed folders for all of the students in preschool through grades 2 for our district. We will be distributing the homework planners for grades 3 through 6 this week once our delivery comes in. We have begun our first new fundraiser, the Coffee and Cocoa fundraiser, to help our parents and loved ones get ready for the cooler weather. Orders for this sale are due by October 2nd, and deliveries will be sent home with students in approximately 4 to 5 weeks from the end of the sale. The PTO will have tables set up at each back-to-school night. Please stop by our table to join us and become a member. Membership is only $5 per person, and 100% of our membership fee goes directly to our events and donations for our students. We are rewarding one class from each school that has the most PTO membership signups at back to school night with an ice cream party for their class. We will have all of our information and events planned for the whole year available for review. Also, our annual designer bag bingo will take place on October 11th beginning at 6 p.m. in the Frog Pond multi-purpose room. Tickets are on sale now for $25 per person in advance or $30 at the door. Check out our Facebook page for sneak peeks on some of our designer bags. We will also have a surprise wallet raffle as well as some nice baskets to raffle off that night. We look forward to a fun night. Our first public meeting for the PTO will be September 25th at 7 o'clock in this room. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else looking to comment?
I have 3 things, so I'll try to get through them quickly. 3. It's ironic, there's actually 3 fantastic ex-principals in this room for the other school, 3 of them. They did amazing jobs. And I would like to congratulate this board on finally hiring somebody for this building that actually can live up to maybe what they did. That was my first thing. Now, second thing I noticed was on I wanted to speak earlier, but with the new time, I couldn't get here, so I didn't read through it. But as far as policies, where does the district, I wish the attorney was here, but maybe Mr. Brown can help. Where does the district fall on staff intervening in custody disputes? Is there a policy in place for that? Are they encouraged to do so? Are they told not to do so? Is there any kind of thing at all? Because a letter was sent to a court by your ex-principal, and it's on the record. So that's pretty interesting considering he didn't ask the mom anything. He, wrote a letter on behalf of a deadbeat dad. So I want to know if there's a policy in place, and if there is a policy in place, I'd like to know what it is. And if there's not, I want to know how this board feels about, while in your employ, this principal took it upon himself to write a letter to a court on behalf of a custody dispute in Passaic County. Nothing?
I'm unaware of policy.
Mr. Burns, we're unaware of what you're speaking about, and in terms of our policy, the only time that the school district gets involved in custody issues is when we have court orders, and then we are required to follow the court order as it's stated. So in terms of what you're speaking about, I really have no knowledge of this, nor do I have proof of
I'll
this.
provide you with the
Nor
knowledge.
is that individual here to speak on this. So what's your next item?
Well, my next item, school district takes a lot of pride in filling the HIBs, you know, I believe. And based on everything that I've seen over the last several years, GJM did a fantastic job of reporting them and investigating them. I have 16 families that say that they came, that were Frog Pond families. 16 that are willing to go to court if it's not resolved. 16 families that reported issues. One in which a child actually told another child to kill themselves. They were swept under the rug by the administration in this building. 16 families. So I'm curious to see, because I read through the
Mr. Carnes,
policy.
Mr. Carnes, since I've been on the board, I'm a little offended by the accusation that anyone.
It never received it to you.
Anything under the rug.
You never received it.
Well, if
Goes
a
to the building
family
principal.
felt- If any family felt that they were wrong, this board has been open to receive any communications. So if someone felt there was an issue, they definitely have recourse if they were not happy with the administration or the superintendent. So if they can't reach out, then the board can't do anything
I
about
think
it.
they'd like to do it together, all of them.
Then they're within their rights to do so. But there's nothing we could do about that at that meeting if they feel this meeting if they feel that.
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. The policy is that it only gets to you after it's been reported to a building principal or reported up to you. I mean, nobody's going to come to you and say, hey, we have a situation where a child assaulted another child or a child said something to
I
another
will
child.
say, unfortunately, members of the public have come to me in my capacity since I've been on this board as president, and they
Right.
probably have when Mr. Dalio was president and presidents before then. So if they want to do that, they're within their rights, and we have to respond.
Well,
in
when
this
that's
way.
happened, I'm sure that you gentlemen have taken care of it, just like it was taken care of in George Mitchell School.
In
But it was not
general-
taken care of in Frog Pond School.
Mr. Carnes, the policy for HIB is very clear on the DOE website, and there are steps that any family can take if they're not satisfied with anything. So if they're to report something to an administrator and they feel nothing's done, the next step would be to go to the superintendent. And I can assure you, when it comes to me, it's handled.
I believe
And then
that.
if it doesn't, if for some reason I didn't handle something appropriately, it would go to the board, then it would go on to the county, and then it would go to the commissioner. So none of that has happened with those families that you're referring to. So if there is a specific concern that a family has if something wasn't handled, I would like them to reach out to me so I could address it. Even if it's something that they felt happened a year ago, 2 years ago, it could absolutely still be
Well, I
addressed.
know, I saw that it was 180 days that they had to report, which, the thing is people are not aware of this stuff, which is one of the reasons I'm here. People are not aware when the principal just looks the other way, or, you know, hypothetically, anybody looks the other way.
Once again, and I don't want
They
to get
don't
too
know.
much back and forth, because you know how to reach out to me, you always can, but I can assure you, on an ongoing basis, when families have issues with something, they find a way to get to me. So it's very unique that these 16 families couldn't find me, because when anyone else has an issue, they can contact me numerous ways, and they do.
Normally can, but the thing is recently, there's been a little bit of a lost at faith, and that's kind of resounded through the public, as well as myself, obviously. And, but the first thing I will be providing.
Concerning who? This board or certain person?
Well, the fact that, well, definitely a certain person, but the fact was, the fact that that person was still employed after what he did,
If
and then
there's-
moved on.
If
And,
there's issues where
Yeah.
people want to contact either the superintendent
well,
and address something, even if it's beyond 180 days
Yeah.
to address a problem.
well, I'll
they
be
should do
providing the
so.
proof that the letter was sent by Mr. Henderson to
Now-
Passaic
now-
Now
County.
you're
We have-
crossing the
I'm
line.
not going to talk about specific employees.
He sent a letter in open court
I'm
with his
not gonna-
signature on it.
I'm not going to talk about specific.
You don't have to,
employees
but
in a
I'll be
public
presenting it to
forum.
you. And as an employee, when he did it, he was an employee of this
Okay, so
district. It
this
needs
is
to be
the
him.
choice I'm going to put to you now. You
Yeah.
said you have 3 items.
Yeah.
Move on to the 3rd item.
That was
or I will
straight.
enforce the policy.
That was straight. That was good. I just told
So
you I'd be
then in 3
providing you
minutes-
with the court
I
documents.
think we're
Thank
past
you.
our 3 minutes now.
Yeah, we are.
Would anyone else like to comment? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? Oh, I'm sorry. Ward 4? Mr. Dalio?
Good, thank you.
I'm
good.
Would anyone like to comment?
I just want to wish everyone a very successful and happy and enjoyable school year.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Thank you.
Okay, now motion to
All
adjourn.
right, you got it. Motion.
Ms. Palin?
I agree with what Debbie said, and it is the beginning of another year, and hopefully a new and a good year. And that's where we are, that's all where all of us want to be. And anything that comes up that needs to be dealt with, certainly can be dealt with for here.
Do I dare try again?
Yeah, try it again.
Motion to adjourn, Mr.
Motion.
Second.
Get down the second. All in favor of adjourning this meeting?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 5:50 PM. Thank you.
Jody? Jody?